Look, this was a hard video to make for many reasons, and not to get too personal, but it was the closest friend I had for a while. That and the 3DS, because during my teenage years and my youth, I didn't really have many friends until like junior year of like high school. But that's beside the point. It was one of my most fond memories with my mother and my sister, playing games or going to Street Pass Princeton. We don't really do much anymore, and I wanted to give thanks to my mom just because she tried a few contests to get the console. There wasn't much in terms of money during this time for us, and we wouldn't be able to really afford it. So young teenage me looked for a job around the time, and thankfully being of age finally where I could get my papers to work, I ended up at a job at, oh god, this place. Man, the Wii U is 10 years old at this point. It's really hard to think about that. So much has happened since then. The Switch came out, is now the most sold console in the world, dethroning the PlayStation 2. But it couldn't have done it without this dinky little console. This was a golden era for Nintendo. Reggie, Miyamoto, and Iwata were really the heads and faces of the company. The golden era of Nintendo, in my opinion, just seeing these three completely wiped everything out of the water in terms of presentation. They weren't just the heads of the company, they were the faces. Nintendo Direct, E3, everything around that time when it was happening. When you saw these guys, you knew you were in for a treat as a Nintendo fan. Even though the console didn't really sell well, this was really a golden era for them. They put so much effort, and looking back retrospectively, you can clearly see it. They tried their hardest to put it out there between Muppets, Robot Chicken, and hell, even Conan O'Brien.
Suit, Samus, which is the same girl without the suit.
Improved!
Look, that one wasn't as much of a winner, but you could tell there was a genuine effort here. However, the lack of third-party support and other games in the beginning of the console's life cycle really gave it a rough start. The 3DS had the same issue, though. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it wasn't as supported still, even later on in the life. People still loving the 3DS and not really playing much of the Wii U, except for a few games, which most of them were my games, but that's beside the point. However, this console has a lot more charm than the Switch ever will. I mean, in all seriousness, piggybacking off the Wii and that console's life paid a lot of homage to a new and old era at the time. And now looking at the Switch, and oh my god, it is desert here. It's just nothing, it's lifeless. The Wii U had a Plaza homepage where you could see a bunch of news updates and, Miiverse and Spot Pass when it was alive, and the new games, were the home screen part. You can see just, right above, and you can click on it, and then, read up about it, watch videos, or something else. It was a central hub for everything Nintendo, and it was completely out of its time. On the other screen, you can see on the Wii U gamepad or switch it to the TV, but you had your standard run-of-the-mill, Wii channels, and in comparison to the Switch, it just has absolutely nothing. I'm more surprised we were able to get dark mode halfway through the console's life, rather than getting themes like we did on the 3DS in the console's life. But hey, that's just me. Which is one of the many reasons why this was definitely the last console Iwata touched, because in the beginning it had so much charm and potential. Now it just feels like more of a corporate shill than anything else. Even though the games are fantastic and wonderful still on Switch, I won't deny that. Also, most of them are Wii U ports, but again, who's keeping track of that?
Not me.
There's no charm here. I feel happy playing the games, sure, but I also feel dirty in a sense every time I turn on the console.
Ugh. Ugh. Okay. That was not part of the skit, but I'm keeping it. Ow! 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 Ow!
Right now, the Switch 2 just got released, and we're getting the Switch 2 Direct after the worst Switch Direct, in my opinion, that we've had in a long time. Outside of that one that was nothing but farm simulators and RPGs. Yes, welled up just talking about it right now. Don't get me wrong, there was a reason why every Wii U game was ported to Nintendo Switch. Except all but 5-ish games, give or take.
Yep, I really miss the good old days.
I played a lot of them during this time. Yes, I played Nintendo Land, Sonic Lost World when that was an exclusive, but I want to focus on the games that I played the most. For the sake of simplicity, I narrowed it down to 4 games to talk about. 3 I played the most, and then 1 is more of a personal love, just because, even though it doesn't make sense that anyone would love the game, because it's terrible, it holds a lot of special memories for me that are unique to me, and I genuinely love that. In no specific order, of course. First, I'm going to definitely talk about Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Wii. Look, this game, with all its flaws, is still one of the best Smash Bros. Games out there, and I fully believe that this needs to be ported in some capacity. The hype around this game was astronomical. Since I didn't really have any friends at the time, I kind of sat alone at the lunch table in high school, playing the 3DS version of this, and also just freaking out in high school over every single character reveal. Fist bumping when Little Mac was revealed, or completely losing it when Rosalina was announced because I was a big Mario Galaxy fan. Again, it was astronomical, but I didn't really have anyone to celebrate this with except the fans who were online, and all I was just there was for the hype. And that's completely okay. As I've come to know and mature, I realized that my love of video games was supposed to be of my own volition, not warranted by any friends around me, even though it would have been nice, and Nintendo was very keen on making sure everything was family and friends, and, you know, those weird, terrible advertisements with kids and friends during the Wii U era. I just wish more people played Nintendo around me at this time. My only friends were online, or too far away to even bother with. So it really left me to just be alone as a Nintendo fan. I had a very preppy-ish kind of school, stereotypical, but that's, I guess, one of the unfortunate parts of high school. Very cliquey, and I just was alone. Besides being excited for every cinematic game itself was wonderful, although it brought back the Nintendo GameCube controller, which was one of the most hyped things that I couldn't even imagine they would attempt, which was a big topic of conversation back then, which is perfect for Nintendo's All-Star Brawl Fighter, their best controller and one of their best franchised games. I completely lost it when they announced DLC for this as well, being one of the few Wii U games that got DLC. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is something that should really be looked at and studied, because it's one of the backbone games for this console. Another such game, though, is... initial thing. Mario's 30th anniversary game was announced, and Nintendo, being in a complete desperation, decided to do something completely insane. They gave us the keys to the Mushroom Kingdom. They gave us a way to make our Mario games in real time, in real life, and share them with our friends and family. Honestly, the online too was solid for once. This was one of the most well-maintained online Nintendo games we've had since Mario Kart Wii and DS, in my opinion. Uploading levels and downloading levels, there were so many crossovers. Just because Nintendo was desperate at this time, we had the craziest crossovers. We had Hello Kitty for some reason even. You could play as Mario and Link and any of the amiibo you had at the time. The sky truly was the limit. Super Mario Maker 2 was one of the most underwhelming things just because the original was so much better in every sense of the word. Yeah, we got slopes, but did you have Link? Did you have the amiibo support? Did you have any of the things that made the original game great? The answer is no, because they lost a lot of the things that made the original one so special. And on top of that, it utilized the keyest feature of them all, the Wii U gamepad, using the gamepad to the fullest extent. Most games with the Wii U era didn't utilize the gamepad and the TV capabilities. It actually bothered me to use the Switch in handheld mode and have to actually manually use a stylus I bought externally just to put stuff down in Mario Maker 2. Around this time, Street Pass Princeton was a thing, and me and my mom and my sister were all very excited for a lot of games coming out. My mom and I were crazy about Amiibo and collecting 3DS consoles, which was all fine and dandy because I didn't really have any friends, and what else was I gonna do with a teenager with a ton of money for no reason? Invest it? Psh. Here's the thing. We did play Mario Party 10 together as a family. I didn't play it much outside of that, but the few times that I did with my family, it was wonderful. It was nice, and sure, we fought. We all have Amiibo, and to this day, I actually still have them, because I was a little afraid that my family would sell them, and I just couldn't bear to not enjoy time with them. Sounds a little sad to say, but, you know, it's a memory that just I hold a little too deep to my heart. We don't really do things anymore. We don't go on vacation to Myrtle Beach anymore. We don't go out and spend time as a family. Sure, we bicker and fight, but that's every family. Hate to say it. I try to sit them all down to play Mario 3D World, and sadly, we never actually did get to do that. I didn't have any friends at the time, and I just didn't want to beat the game with all 4 characters, or 5 if you unlock the secret one at the end. And it just didn't do it for me because I didn't have anyone to play this with, and I wanted to enjoy the Wii U to its fullest. I hate to say it, but I miss spending time with my family. My parents will never watch my YouTube. My sister, God forbid she ever watches anything on YouTube, anything related to gaming. Since our childhood was, not that much of the fondest of times, but I really don't see them often anymore, and as much as it hurts, they're also a pain in the neck, so it's a bit difficult to ask my mom to play games with me, let alone do a puzzle together, and she and I like doing puzzles. When the Wii U and 3DS were around, these were the fondest times that I had with my family and gaming, and being able to share my passion with them. It was something I hold very dear to my heart, and it's a time that I will never get back, and it's a bit unfortunate. So, the next game on this list, a bit of a weird crossover. God only knows how this happened, but Hyrule Warriors, an insane experience. Hacking and slashing and Zelda for some reason. It caused a bit of an uproar in the gaming industry. Why they did this? We don't know. Just wanted to know if it would be good, and oh my gosh, I poured 200 hours into this thing on the Wii U console. Funny enough, for a long time, this actually turned out to be my favorite Zelda game. For some ungodforsaken reason. Again, I had other games. I had Wind Waker, I had Ocarina of Time 3D on my 3DS. I played a lot of the originals, but I liked this one just because of the unique gameplay loop and capturing keeps and stuff like that. I was also a big fan of Risk at the time, so that could have been a big indicator of why I liked this. A unique spin on a wonderful franchise. The last game I want to talk about, I think everyone knows, it was just the same Mario Kart we've been playing for over a decade! Oh my gosh! Mario Kart 8, though, introduced a lot of things. Posting your Mario Kart clips to YouTube, new characters, getting biker uniforms for Mii's, via Amiibo, which again, I have tons of these things. I just have them in storage, but it also took everything wonderful that I loved about Mario Kart 7, slapped some HD on it, and BAM! One of the best games around with some of the best orchestras we've ever gotten for Mario Kart tracks. Oh my gosh. Ironically enough, every single one of the games except Mario Party 10, though, were the backbone of this console in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I played other games. Like I said, Sonic Lost World and Nintendo Land were wonderful. We have some other exclusives later on in the console's life that got ports, unfortunately. I'm looking at you, Xenoblade Chronicles X. But I also, every day, I'm so grateful that I'm able to play my Nintendo Wii games on this console. No joke, it was one of the biggest selling points for this console for me outside of Smash Brothers, which was the #1 reason why I got this. I'm not saying the console has to be perfect, but without it, we wouldn't have the Nintendo Switch. We wouldn't have a Steam Deck. And whatever handheld gaming PC thing you can think of, we have the Wii U to thank for that. This console and this type of technology was curated by Nintendo, as they've always innovated with things that were really not their problem to begin with, but they made it their problem, and they owned it. Now, they really aren't making much headway, because the innovation is just improving on the Switch. At least as of making this video, I have no idea what they're going to do with that extra USB-C port. Maybe we'll have DS backwards compatibility, and I'll be eating my words by the time the script is done.
Oh, you thought. Yeah, no. But here's the thing. I poured over 200 hours into this thing. And then on top of that, it not only got remastered on the 3DS, it also got remastered on the Switch, which was a combination of the previous two. More maps, more characters, more everything. And you know what? After I did all this, and then... I'm not done. Let me tell you something. I not only did the extra reward task, but guess what?
Gifts. What's it?
Almost all but 5 master quests. Just all but 5. Do you know how long that is? Do you know how long this took me? And then even on top of that, I still didn't get all the gold on this. There's still spots of silver everywhere. But do you know how long this took me? 1 million subs right now. And I will beat this entire game, top to bottom. I will max out everything, and I'll live stream it. But here's the thing, I gotta get there first. Orange juice. Just drink some orange juice. It's high in vitamin C. too mad at this. Do you know how hard it is to be a Wii U fan? This is the reason why. This is the reason why. Okay, I can't, I'm done, episode's over. Episode's over. Like, comment, subscribe. I love this console. But Nintendo, you couldn't have waited till the Switch 2? Give me a breather period. Just something.
He does not represent the Nintendo community. He does not represent Nintendo. He don't represent Jersey. Jersey, rise up, get this. Actually, he's already outside of